What is going on, guys? This is Miasin. So in Maze of Millennia in January, so very soon, we will be getting Transaction Rollback, and obviously everybody expects it to be really good in Labyrinth, but it's not the only deck that can play it really well. Some other decks can play Transaction Rollback probably better, actually, and abuse it, and because of that, I might see some cards go on the ban list, potentially not Transaction Rollback, but it's gonna inflict collateral damage that might ban some other cards. And that's what I wanted to talk about today in this video. So before we go any further, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. It would really motivate me a lot to keep existing. And now let's get right into it. Alright, so first of all, what is the card? What does it do? So it has two effects. One effect on the field and one in the graveyard. The effect on the field reads, pay half your life points, then target one normal trap in your opponent's graveyard except itself. This effect becomes that normal trap's effect when that card is activated. And the graveyard effect is pretty much the same, but instead of copying your opponent's trap, you're copying your own trap in your graveyard. And you can only use one effect of Transaction Rollback per turn and only once that turn. That also makes a lot of sense. Now, what is crazy in Yu-Gi-Oh! When you're copying effects is that you're copying only the effect, but you're not copying the cost. With that being said, you are still under the obligation of meeting the activation requirement if there are any. So, for example, if you are trying to copy the effect of Harpy's Featherstorm, you still need to control a Wind Wing Beast monster on the activation. With that being said, if you are using the effect of Transaction Rollback to copy, let's say, Ghost Meets Girl, a masterful Mayakashi Shiranui Saga, I nailed it, you are only copying the effect. You're not copying the cost of having to tribute a Mayakashi or Shiranui Synchro or Link monster. What you are doing, essentially, if you're going Transaction Rollback, copy, Ghost Meets Girl, whatever, is neither player can special summon monsters from the hand, deck, or extra deck for the rest of the turn, which is stupid. You're copying that effect. Come on, it's literally way better than D-Barrier. It's a D-Barrier that covers links and also special summons from the hand and deck. Not a single deck, basically, can play through that. Like, even ritual decks would lose to that, even if they don't summon from deck or extra deck too much. So yeah, this card is pretty scary. And the beauty about Transaction Rollback is that you don't really need to physically hard draw anything for any of this to work, because you can straight up go Beatrice, send the Transaction Rollback, and then on your opponent's turn, you go Beatrice again, send the second trap card. Now, obviously, Beatrice is a joke to summon. I've already covered in the past that Beatrice is arguably better than Lavalval Chain because it's a double Lavalval Chain. You can use it once on your turn, once on your opponent's turn, and as a quick effect, whereas Lavalval Chain, it's only one usage, and it's only on your turn as a spell speed 1 effect, so it's still really good, but Beatrice is like a very ban-worthy card. I find it curious, actually, how Curious is banned, but not Beatrice, and I think it's finally time for Beatrice to go because of that. Everybody can play Beatrice. I mean, not everybody, but I mean, like, a lot of explosive decks can. Tearlaments with Garura and, like, the Destiny Row package, Virtual World even, and whatever is trying to play some Bestial monsters would at least have the Bestials as level 6s. I don't know about like some other level 6s, but yeah, again, 2 level 6 monsters means that you can basically use the effect of almost any normal trap card out there. So in the Labyrinth deck, you're typically trying to copy the Big Welcome, because if you get ashed or belled, it's fine. You can still use the effect again. You are not copying the negative properties of like you can only use it once per turn. Even if Big Welcome is once per turn and its effect is, you know, a hard once per turn, Transaction Rollback doesn't care about that. It really just mimics the effect, and it is still obviously treated as a trap effect that makes your monster leave the field. So it would still trigger the effect of the Lovely to like destroy a card and stuff like that, which is actually kind of disgusting. So obviously Big Welcome might get limited because of that as well, in order to push Transaction Rollback to force players to play it, but I don't necessarily believe that it's going to happen. Is Big Welcome even the best card to mimic in Labyrinth? Probably. Welcome Labyrinth, the regular one, is not even that great. But like I said, some other decks can abuse this card infinitely better. And even if you physically hard draw it, it's not too bad. I mean, obviously in the Labyrinth deck, it's going to be your discard fodder with your furniture monster, so that you want to draw off the Transaction Rollback. You don't really want to set it though. You always want it in the graveyard. And you still have to pay half your life points to use it, so obviously time can be an issue. But obviously, if you can use this effect to make your opponent go like neck 10, then it's gonna be completely fine. Obviously, neck 10 is an exaggeration, but you can basically make him go neck 6 with Eradicator Epidemic Virus, because you can call spells and traps, so you're literally well equipped to beat like just about anything if you're playing Tearlaments now. I remember when people back in the days, they would have to go Curious Griffin in order to get a Floodgate. Now it's just like you summon one Beatrice, double Foolish, and that's it, that's all. And obviously, Eradicator Virus is not the only card that you can get with Transaction Rollback. You can play a lot of other one-ofs, like you can play Deck Devastation Virus, that one's pretty good. Dimensional Barrier, very simple, probably not as good as the Ghost Meets Girl. This is way better, but Ghost Meets Girl is potentially a brick if you draw it, whereas the Barrier, it's fine if you draw it. Spiritual Water Art Aoi is actually not too bad as well. You're not required to tribute a monster, like a water monster, to use its effect to like look at your opponent's hand and then send a card. So it's kind of like a Trap Dust Shoot slash Pointer of the Red Lotus. It's not too bad. You can play around Lava Golem and Sphere mode with this kind of card. And maybe not like Super Poly, because your opponent can like Super Poly the Beatrice on draw phase, but if your opponent can't Super Poly your Beatrice, then yeah, that would work as well. And there are some other cards, I guess, in other decks. Maybe like if you can find a way to miraculously summon Beatrice and Infernoid, which is literally impossible, you would have to go like Sejet and then normal summon Decatron to send Piatti. And then you go into Beatrice and then you can send that and the Void Feast. Man, it's gonna be disgusting because you get to summon 3 freaking Infernoids from your deck. Like what? Basically game. You don't even have to send a Void Spell or Trap card from your hand or face of field. It's just like Beatrice gets your engine going. I'm deadass trying to find ways to just get some level 6s on the board. Again, Virtual World and Tearlaments are the ones that do it the best, but there has to be something else that can easily spam level 6s on the board. And not that it matters, but I guess if you could want to use some other cards like Char Brigade Revolt, you don't necessarily have to play like Char Brigade for that. You don't even have to search it with the Bear Brum. You just foolish it, and then you can summon like the Sharag, banish an opponent's card. I don't know if you're really going to be triggering that many interesting effects, but it's still a cute play. If you're playing like a Despia S deck or something that might want to fuse, then Fusion Duplication could work. Again, another play that I had like in mind with Infernoid was like, I think it's like a Necro Fusion where you banish a bunch of Infernos from the grave, and then you summon Tierra that the hand loops your opponent completely. But you do need to send like 9 Infernos with different names or something, so it's very unrealistic. But hey, look, if you resolve it, you deserve a gold medal. Now, speaking of gold medal, and I swear to God, if I see someone mimic Judgment of the Pharaoh with transaction rollback, I'm giving you like $100. There we go. This card is insane. Pay half of your life points, select and activate an appropriate effect which can be activated. So obviously, the pay half of your life points is irrelevant because it's the cost. But if you have Yujo Friendship in your grave, until the end of this turn, your opponent cannot normal summon, set, flip summon, or special summon a monster or activate a monster effect. Like, that's ridiculous. I can't believe that Yujo Friendship might almost see play with Judgment of the Pharaoh just to lock your opponent completely. And if you have Unity in your grave, until the end of the turn, negate the effect of all spell and trap cards on your opponent's side of the field, and your opponent cannot activate or set spell and trap cards. Literally a game-ending card. Hey, yo, in Tearlaments, it's actually, like, realistic. You can, like, hard mill everything, and then copy the effect and just win completely. So the fact that transaction rollback way better and way deeper than what we think it is just unbelievable. Because again, at first I was just like, oh, another card just for big welcome, just for Labyrinth, and that's it, that's all. It's not going to be of any relevance. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that there's some really disgusting normal trap cards that you can copy with transaction rollback. And again, the crazy thing about this card is the fact that you don't have to hard draw anything. You just make Beatrice, you foolish 2 cards, which is built in the effect of Beatrice. You don't have to worry about the cost, so a bunch of cards can be abused. All of these cards are just like a bunch of ideas, but there's probably like potentially maybe better. If you find something that is better, just let me know in the comment section, and I will try to make a really cool combo video with it. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.